click the go live. So everyone out in social media land can now see us on the live stream.
Great.
All right. Oh, I'm still hearing the echo really bad.
Shall I switch my, shall I unmute?
When you mute yourself, we can't hear you. So, do you have headphones, Tanya?
Yes, I'll go and get them. Give me 1 minute.
Okay, I'm going to take you out of the stream just for a second then. All right, Elle, how's it going?
Very good. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. I feel like I came in just a couple minutes late. I was getting my haircut, so I feel like I'm rushed, and my camera is not set exactly where I want it. It's probably good enough. Okay, so you had asked in the group what like how to go live and things like that. I'm sure some of it is just going to be technical, like what's the easiest way to go do that. But I'm sure you have other questions as we go, so I'll be happy to like just stop me whenever I'm talking, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Oh my goodness, I just realized I'm going to switch network really quick to something that'll be much faster. I may glitch out. I'll be right back if I do.
Okay.
All right. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right. Now can you see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see it via two of you.
Yeah.
One is live and one is now it's nice.
Yeah, so that's the one that got stuck when I switched the networks. So we won't see that guy again. All right. Also, did you want to talk any more about what we were talking about on Zoom about setting up your own courses, your own business, things like that? And I know that we covered a lot of ground in just a few minutes on that conversation. So feel free if you want to talk about some of that first, maybe. It's all up to you. What do you think? Where would you like to start?
Yes, I could say some words. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
As the last talk what we had, we talked about this my LinkedIn profile, to change the text in my profile about me, and also about my like info products, what I can do or prepare. So first thing, I changed my LinkedIn profile as you suggested, about my background, about my experiences. So it was quite funny because 1.5 days later, I got from another country, like I'm from Estonia, and I got from Finland a collaboration proposal, but we didn't confirm it yet. But I'm at the moment I'm waiting for this proposal. How to say what they see, how I can support their business, and how can they can use my service here in Estonia.
Awesome.
It was so so fascinating for me because I even didn't understand how this change in my profile could bring this kind of different companies to to find me. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Yeah, so LinkedIn is really like it's my jam. I really love the LinkedIn community more because for the most part, I have always done business type services. And it's easier for me to find the people that I'm looking for on LinkedIn than trying to do it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. So I really love using LinkedIn. I'm so glad that you made that one change. It's already making a difference, and I'm really looking forward to what type of deal you're going to get out of it. This sounds really good.
Yeah, and second, what you right away asked when we had this first conversation, do I have any kind of product or workbook or book or some courses what are recorded for website, because I could sell right away this kind of products what I could sell right away. So I at the moment I didn't have it, but I booked the studio for next Friday, as I have already prepared some trainings what I made in Estonian Chamber of Commerce. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was free training, but another way it's very useful for small companies. It's about the HR work. And on Friday morning, I had also like how to say, sorry. One lady called me because they knew about me that I do this HR work, and I help the small companies. And they contacted to me, and I came to visit their company, small company, like 9 persons, but they still don't have any kind of HR work, no papers, only the employer contracts. But like in legally, every company needs to have some more papers about the HR work. And it was also very good to see that, or hear that the people call me that can I help them. And the first thing that we had this discussion, what they miss and what kind of papers they miss and what they need to do more. It was like the first meeting, and they didn't order my service, but I got input for my training, but I can like record next week. I have already 2 subjects what I prepared, but the third one what I want to record as well I didn't have, but now I have all 3 subjects what to record, because I booked all day, a full day in a studio, and it means that I can record like 3 different trainings about 1.5 hours. So it's very good.
Very nice. I see Tanya's back. Let's add her in. Tanya, you want to do a quick sound check? Did you get the headphones?
No, I'm sorry. I wrote in the chat. I can't find them at the moment. I didn't want to miss out on anything, so I came back. I have wireless ones, but they need to be charged, so I'm charging them at the moment. But maybe in a few minutes they will be good enough to be used. Otherwise, I'll write on the chat if it's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll have to mute you when I go to talk. Elle was just doing a little explaining on some things that's happened. She just recently updated her LinkedIn. We had a chat 2 or 3 days ago, and Elle updated her LinkedIn. We brainstormed a couple of business ideas that she could be doing. And it seems like things are just like really dropping into place. So I'm really excited for her. Also, I wanted to talk about this, Elle, because I know this is a really big thing. I know it's with me, and I see it in a lot of other people. Sometimes we overcomplicate things. So you mentioned getting a studio, which I'm not going to discourage it. Like, go use it, make your recordings. That's really cool. But one of the things that I work with, one of the things I tell the people that I work with is start where you are. So because I overcomplicated things way too much in the beginning, I bought a very expensive camera. I paid for big lights. I've set this place up as a studio. This is actually a real desk that's behind me. When we bought the house, the previous owners were nice enough to leave it here, so I just use it as a backdrop. But I had so many problems because I was just way too technical. Today, I have a ring light. I have the lights on back there just to make it look nice. And I just have a Brio it's a 4K right now, though we're actually transmitting only at 1080p. So the camera's one technological step ahead of our broadcast, which is fun. But I've tried to like make it as not complicated as possible. One thing I'd like for you to consider for anybody who sees this recording, if you're ever overcomplicating things, here's what I want to. Here's what I use. So when we had the conversation the other day, Elle, would it have mattered if I had good lighting in a background, or were you getting helpful information and that's the most important thing?
The information is the most important, but I can add that this book, the studio, it's quite cheap here in Estonia. It's 100 euro per day.
Yeah, what's the exchange right now?
Like 100 euros. It's like 80. Not 120 bucks per day.
Yeah, 119. Yep. So that's not that bad. But also for people that are out there and you just don't have either a studio that's close by or you can't get it that cheaply, don't let that stop you because
I totally understand. One thing for me, it's like consulting people right on the screen, and it's I can do it here in my home, the same place where I am at the moment. But I see that when I want to sell the trainings, then I prefer that is my personal thing that what I think that I prefer that it's like very not very but
polished,
it's professional.
Yep.
Yes, and
yeah, I totally agree.
this is the preparing and cutting and all this stuff also included to this. And I saw these trainings what are done on this studio, and it's very good quality.
Okay. Yep. Also, is there someone there that will do the setup for you? Like, do they already have the lights set up and
Yes, everything.
Yeah.
They
so
have
then
everything.
That makes it easy because what I was trying to do was I was having to be the lighting engineer. I had to be the sound engineer. I had to be an interior decorator to decorate the room. And I'm really good. Like if it's got a keyboard, I'm really good with that. I'm really good with technology, but anything that doesn't have a keyboard, oh my goodness, it's my Achilles heel. And so my perfectionism actually stopped me from progressing. So I'm really glad for you. I'm glad that you have that opportunity there.
Yeah.
All right. So another breakthrough that I would want to bring up for anybody who's watching, including you, Tanya, those that may just be seeing this on social media, is Elle had said when we were talking through some of the product ideas, a little background on Elle. She's been in HR forever. She has worked in HR departments for international companies as well as local Estonian companies that have I can't remember millions in revenue.
Yes.
So she's used to working in large corporations and doing
I was like responsible for the largest, biggest company where I was, the Saint-Gobain, I was responsible for Estonia and Latvia.
Wow. Okay.
Also, another country, this HR work and all this stuff.
And so I was telling her, hey, what if you put together a package? I just started spitballing different ideas. One of them is people that are looking for a job. She can say, listen, I've worked in HR. I can tell you exactly how to get hired. I can tell you what you need on your resume, what to expect for the interview process, who you need to be contacting in the companies, mistakes that common people make that you can avoid that would actually, if you made the mistakes, would prevent you. On the flip side, she can put together packages for small companies that can't afford an HR person, but need some training, or maybe even just need some consulting. Another idea was hiring managers to know what tools were available, like using LinkedIn or whatever. What are the tools available to find employees, as well as on the employee side, people looking to get hired, what tools that the big HR companies will use to try to find them and how to navigate them. So there's all these different ideas. And Elle gave me a really good limiting statement. She said, but all of that's already given for free by the government. So do you remember what I said in response?
Yes.
What did I say?
What is easier to see when I have this full baggage, and I describe this full baggage, what I can offer to the job seeker, and is it easier to talk with me or find somewhere on their own?
Right. Yeah. So there are several different things about that. One is if Elle put together a package, let's say it's $1,000 or maybe $500, whatever that price point is. And Elle actually says you could do a live stream, record it, and play it for people, and say, here are all the government websites and tools and everything you need to know about the government that will help you find a job. And you give them 30 minutes and explain how all of that works, where they can access it, give them a free PDF download. And then you say, now, if you would really want me to hold your hand, or you want to go through my course I show you exactly what you really need to be doing, that's $500. If someone ever uses the government website from that point forward, they will always have the question in their mind, I wonder what Elle knows that I don't know, that if I just paid $500, she would actually help me, because I don't feel like I will get it if they're using just the government. That's one. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a really big one. Another one is the motivational, saying, well, the government already does this for free, so there's no market for that. But I mentioned water is free, but people buy it in bottles every single day, but water is free. So just because something is free doesn't mean there's not a market for it. And so why would you want to pay for a bottle of water versus drinking something for free? Because if you drink free water, you don't know, is it contaminated? Is it perfectly clean? Is it 100% healthy for me? But if I buy this in the bottle, and I could read the label, and I know that use, for example, reverse osmosis or whatever, I know the thing I'm getting. Also, so how does that apply here? When I use the government websites and the government tools, I don't know if that's really the best way. That's the government. Who are they? The most modern, up to date in all things in society? Absolutely not. So then if I buy this $500 package or $1,000 package and I work with Elle, I know exactly what I'm getting, because she's told me, and she's got all these credentials and experience. So a little mind shift. I think the world's wide open for you to do all kinds of stuff in this area, Elle. It's going to be crazy.
Thank you. Yes.
You're very welcome. All right. So that was the business opportunity side and making a product. Tanya, do you have any questions, any thoughts about that in this area? Oh, I don't know if you can't unmute or if you didn't, but I see that you're saying no, so that's fine.
No, I didn't unmute actually. No, I'm listening. I don't have any questions at the moment.
And for those watching, Tanya is from Italy, correct? Yeah. So it's amazing. I'm just south of Nashville, Tennessee. I'm talking to one person in Italy, another person in Estonia. So it's pretty cool, and it's all live. Okay, so now how to go live. Right now, you two have come into a studio, which is a little bit more complicated. So I don't want to overcomplicate things with showing you. I mean, you guys can already see kind of some of the stuff you can do in the studio, but I really would love it if you got momentum. And this is what I was lacking before because it was I made it too complicated. I was overthinking it way too much. Instead of just starting where I was and improving from there, I just went to like something super complicated, and it delayed me by several years. So I would like to show some of the easiest ways. And I would start with first, where your ideal audience is. So each person, each product that you may have, each offering that you'd have, your ideal audience is going to be in different places. For me, probably my ideal audience, easier for me to get to, is on LinkedIn. There's a barrier with LinkedIn. And so, Elle, you're going to hit this too, because I think a lot of the people that you could work with, or you could find them through business searches, which will be LinkedIn. The problem with doing lives on LinkedIn is you have to apply for it. And when you apply, they want to see a history of you, of your content, of making videos and drawing a crowd, so to speak. And so it's hard to start with LinkedIn. So I don't recommend it. Instead, I would rather use something probably like Facebook as a good start. YouTube is okay, but it's hard to get direct subscribers and build a group around YouTube. So that's why for almost everything, I would rather just start on Facebook, because it's easier with Facebook to create a group where you can talk and make posts and chats and ask questions, answer questions, kind of like what we've been doing in our private workplace. And at the same time, you can go live there. So it gives you one central place. So I'm going to share my screen. Or do you guys have any questions about that?
Yes.
Yep.
I have a question. How to act? Because I have at the moment in Facebook only my own personal profile. Need I change my personal profile or start the new one, like the professional?
Okay, so easy enough. There are two thoughts on that, and so I'll give them both to you. One is people like to connect with people. So if they look on your Facebook and you have pictures of your cats and dogs, you've got pictures of when you went on vacation, you do regular little posts about things that you're doing in ordinary life, they say, wow, this is an ordinary person. This is a person I can relate to. Now, I don't advise, if you're like and I don't think this fits either one of you two, but if you're like the party goer and always out on the town and, getting in trouble, you don't need that stuff on any social media, because they will find it, even if you try to hide it, and it won't be good. So, but if you're concerned that you want to make a separation, which I do think is a good thing, you can always make a public page of you. So make a personality page and it's just you. It could be the same picture of you, same headshot. It could definitely be more on the professional side. So like the banner across the top can be, speaking about the products and the ways that you help or the consulting that you do, whereas maybe your personal one doesn't. Maybe it's a beautiful sunset or really, picture from a vacation that you really enjoyed. But your profile, your personality page, could be like all business. People can still, if you do your live streams through that, people can still go and find your regular page by searching for your name and still see, oh, this is a real person. But if they don't want to be involved in your day-to-day personal life, or you don't want them to be, they can still see it, but not engage with you there and have all your professional stuff over through your page and in your group. So do you already know how to create a page?
Yes,
Okay.
I will do this professional, like the public page for myself.
Okay. And have you ever created a Facebook group?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
I have, yes.
Okay, so then actually you already know all just about everything you need to know about going live.
Yeah.
Have you gone live in your group before?
Not yet.
Okay. I don't use Facebook Live. I know that right now I'm streaming live on Facebook, but I don't go to my Facebook group and actually go live from there. I believe if that's all you do is, go to your group and you can schedule a live. It's the same control. You just say that you want to start a live, and then you say either start now or schedule it.
Yeah.
I prefer to give people more of a heads up, especially more of a heads up than I gave them today, because I told people about an hour before we were going to go live that I was going to go do this. Because this is uncharacteristically thrown together on my part. But you can schedule it ahead of time. Later, when it's time to go live, you just go back to it and click, go live. I believe if you're in a Facebook Live and I come on as an attendee, I could join you. I'm not sure about that. I know when I was first looking at Facebook Lives, they didn't have that as a feature. It was just a single person. But that's one of the reasons why I chose to go with StreamYard, so that I could have multiple guests on all at the same time. And so actually, you're already a little more advanced if you already have a group and a profile page. Would you want me to show you the settings on how to start a live, or does that seem easy enough already to you?
Actually, I need to check it out about this StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
First time I saw this.
Okay. It can get really crazy, but I may be able to share my screen and show you the controls in StreamYard. But if you guys see yourselves, it'll be out of sync. It'll be kind of wacky. Let me see if I just go and open a whole new StreamYard window and see if I can share that. Let's see, share screen, and here we go. All right. Let me get rid of that overlay. Otherwise, Tanya is hiding behind my initials. That's right here. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's when you log into StreamYard. Now, keep in mind this is a paid plan. I'm having to pay for this. They do have a free version. The free version, I think, has a logo up in their logo in the corner, and they limit, like, you can only broadcast to just a limited number of social medias. But did I lose it? Here we go. All right. So you come here, you click on destinations. And as you can see, like, I just connected to my single Facebook account, and it automatically shows me all the different things I can do within Facebook. And I've added my page. Earlier this year, I was doing Digital Brand Academy, but I'm going to be morphing that into this live stream effort that I'm doing now. My LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope, which will broadcast on Twitter. So you can add all of these different ones. I really like broadcasting to YouTube, even if I don't have a following there, just because that I'll automatically have a recording of it that's in really high quality up in YouTube. Now, in StreamYard, you can download one of your recordings, but to me, it's just easier if it's already in YouTube, especially if it's already in YouTube. It's easy to drop that link on your own personal website or whatever, because it's already there. Whereas if you download it from StreamYard, most people have difficulty uploading it to somewhere else so that they can stream it on their own website. It's easier if it's already in YouTube for you. So you just connect up your social medias through there. You click on broadcast. If I click here, I'll go into the studio where all of us are right now, and as you can tell, it's live right now. You can create, once you're connected, you just tell it to create a broadcast. Select the different places that you want it to be sent to. Give it a title and a description. I'm not going to do it because if I do it, it'll actually connect out like to those Facebook groups and create a coming soon broadcast. So I'm not going to do that part, but it's just this simple. And you tell it to schedule for later. I can upload a thumbnail image if I want. So it can have like the title or whatever, and set the time. And then you customize for each destination, but there's not a lot that you actually need to do there. And then it's scheduled automatically on all of those social platforms.
But how
Then-
how you invite like guests like us?
Okay, so for each one of these, there's this little drop down, and I can click invite
I
a
see.
guest.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it gives me this link that I can use, and I just give you guys the link. Now, in my case, let me come back here. In my case, I have I put this on the bottom of mine, so I have this little thing that's live on the bottom of all of my broadcasts. It says join live, and it's this link live-guest. And this is a redirection tool that I have. If you go to that URL, you will actually be going to this. It will end up sending you to this link, so that while I'm live, people don't have to type in. Let me go back to it. People don't have to type in this crazy Q8DN3276JB into their browser to try to get in here. So I give them a shortcut. So if other people want to join us live, they can. Now, that's only if they want to participate. So people that are watching, they're not in here. Let me see if I can show you guys what I see. I'm going to stop sharing this, and now I will share my entire screen. Okay. Woo, we just got dizzy sick, right? So this is us watching ourselves. We're just seeing this infinite mirror effect here. But if you kind of ignore the center section where the video is, you can see these other tools. So I can turn on or off these other places that I'm broadcasting to up here. I can add the banners on the side. Usually when I start, I will put this one. So that people just know that it's coming soon, and then I have a countdown video that plays that before it starts, so people know that it's starting. But I just made this banner, and in the banner I put that URL again so that they can just come in here easily. Also, when people comment, if they are on one of these channels, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, which is, for me, is Twitter, whatever. If they make a comment, it will show up over here, and I can click on it, and it will display them down here across the bottom. So, including their picture, you'll see their picture. No one's commented. I guess I could probably go to one of the groups and make a comment real quick to demonstrate it. But that's this side of the control. We have a private chat. So earlier when Tanya was chatting, she was entering it over here so that we could all see it. I think you guys obviously have that as well. You just don't have the banner, the banner and branding part. What else? Oh, so down across the bottom I think I have these controls, and I don't think you guys do. So this is where you control this sharing of the screen. You can see everyone who's in here. You can click remove to take them off. You can mute, unmute them. I don't know what this little solo layout. Okay, so I guess like I could just quickly make it just one person. I didn't know that. And they have these other different layouts. So like if I only want to show the screen, or I want to show our heads to the side plus the screen, or just, I think this would be just me plus the screen. They have these different layout controls. Again, this is a paid plan. It's been a year since I purchased it, so I don't know what the pricing is now. These things can get expensive. I think it's $200-300 for a year to have more channels that you could send to, and to remove their logo. So their logo would look like this. Let me go back to just our heads. So when you're on the free version, you'll just always see their logo up at the top. And on the paid version, you can replace it with whatever you want. Excuse me, had a cough. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Do you have any questions about that? Is there anything you want me to show you about using this?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
They're quite clear.
Okay. Another one that I like is Restream.io. And probably need to, I'm still sharing the screen, but I need to show it. There we go. So can you guys see the Restream dashboard now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's a lot of the same. You can add these destination channels. It's been a minute since I've used it. You can schedule a live event. So it's a lot like StreamYard. One thing that I really like about Restream more than StreamYard is it will show you the participants. So you can see, you know, when people join, when they leave. It shows.
Is it like in a Zoom?
No. This is also like Restream. Excuse me. It's also like StreamYard. You come here and when you go live through the studio. I hope it doesn't mess up my camera. Yeah, is my camera still over here too? Yep, it is. Okay, so this interface is a lot like StreamYard. The messaging shows up over here just like it does in StreamYard. If people are on the social platform sending you message, you'll see it there. You can do graphics overlays. I haven't really played with any of this stuff because I've done almost everything through StreamYard, but I did buy the pro version of Restream because I wanted to do the traffic analysis. By the way, on StreamYard, you can add RTMP. I may get a little technical. You can add a URL and a key that will transmit your broadcast into Restream. And from within Restream, you can send it to all the social media platforms. And then you get the statistics of who joined, which platform had the most traffic, when people joined, when they left, how many were there, all that kind of stuff. So you can kind of get a sense of your engagement using Restream. And I used to live stream a lot earlier this year. And when I was doing it, they didn't allow guests to join you in Restream. So it would just be me, and I wanted to have guests on all the time. So after I purchased Restream for a year, I found out I couldn't have guests. That's when I went to StreamYard so that I made sure I had guests. And since then, Restream has made it where you can have guests. I haven't played with it, but probably long term, I'll just be using Restream.io because it's a little bit more powerful than StreamYard. I think it's going to be a little bit more expensive. For a year at my level that I have, probably $500-600 a year subscription. Their pricing may have changed. It's been a long time since I've looked at it. But between these two tools, if you're going to do more than just one channel, so if all you're going to do is broadcast in a Facebook group, which is where I recommend everyone to start, then just use Facebook. Go to Facebook group, create a live stream and do it there. Don't worry about any of these other tools. As soon as you start wanting to expand and you want to save your recordings, like on YouTube, so that you can post them to your website, you want to stream to several different places, like you finally get approved for LinkedIn and you want to stream to LinkedIn and to your Facebook group at the same time, then that's when you'd start to want to look at some of these other tools that are here. Or if you have the money and you just want to be really fancy and be able to do stuff like I've done with these overlays, putting URLs up there or whatever, then you may want to consider using one of these tools. But to start, I would not overcomplicate it. As a matter of fact, even if someone said, you know what, I've got the money, I've got the graphics, I just want to come in, I want to start using StreamYard or whatever. If they've never done live streaming, I would say go do it in the Facebook group for about a month, do it once a week for a month and get used to what it feels like to do it with just one in one little group before you come and make it much more complicated with something like this. So I feel like I have talked forever. Tanya, I want to check in with you, Tanya, because you have to do the mute thing. How any questions?
Not at the moment.
No, it's all very new for me, so I'm very interested. But it's difficult to ask you a question because it's all new. So everything you say, I'm just listening to what you're saying. I did one live streaming on Facebook once, and I think that you can't add anybody to it. That you were saying before. It's only one person, and you can't. You can see how many people are connected, but you don't know who they are. You can only see the number, and they can chat. So you can. That's the only way to interact with people. But yes, I'm just very interested also on how it can help me. I'm just thinking of different ideas of how I could be using the live stream myself. You know that I teach. I've prepared an English course. I'm nearly finished with it, and it will be on YouTube. I will be promoting it on Facebook. I already have a page for my English teaching and a group for it. I've never used it, but I already have some subscribers in it. The only live stream I did on Facebook was with my private profile and not on the group. And so it's all very new for me, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, so you could definitely use the live stream. Here we go. You could definitely use the live streaming to showcase what you can do, especially like if you're going to do like an English. I'm guessing it's Italians that are learning English. Is that the direction? Okay, so if you're going to be teaching English, what if you had like a phrase of the week? And you just got on, once a week, and it was people get used to that schedule. Once your group gets up big enough, you can also do what I've tried to do in our private workplace, and that is you can create a poll and say what's the best time for everybody else. Of course, they can always just watch it later. They don't actually have to come, but it is more helpful when people show up because then you can have the interaction. How long ago was it that you did your Facebook Live?
Last week.
Okay. Yeah, so that sounds pretty current for not being able to have other people come on. I really like having people come on because, like, maybe let me put myself in your shoes. I would work on people's pronunciation of their English. So someone who's not afraid of being, criticized or whatever, and isn't afraid of making mistakes in front of a live audience, they can come on and you can help perfect their pronunciation of English, teach them new phrases. It gets that high interaction is really worth it, I think, for live streaming.
I have one suggestion to Tanya. You should reverse it. English-speaking people will study Italian.
Some people have already asked me that also through Facebook, but I'm going to start with the hard work first because, not hard. Well, it's just very different. The Italian grammar is a lot more complicated, but and I've never taught Italian to English speakers. I've already taught a lot of English to Italians, but I've never done the opposite. So I'm going to start with what I know first. Okay, good. I will let you know.
I have some sentences I have some sentences like voglio dire qualcosa.
That's a start.
So Tanya, what's your first language? Is it Italian or is it English?
No, it's Italian. Italian because I studied here. I lived here all my life, but my mother was English. So the first language I learned was English, although we were living in Italy. And so I learned English first because my mother didn't know Italian. And then at school, I learned Italian, but living here, it has become my first language, Italian, because of all my studies, I studied here in Italy. So practice more. I also, so after I've done my English for Italians and Italians for English, I'm going to start doing the Chinese one as well. Chinese for Italians and Chinese for English people. But that's the next one.
Yeah, I could tell. I didn't think that Italian was your first language, because your English, you have an English or like UK accent. You don't have like a foreign language accent like Italian or some other accent. And so, what about the Chinese? So, did you learn Chinese?
Yes. I studied Chinese for 5 years at university, and I have also been to China twice. Once to study the language. So I was going to university there in China, and then I went back with my husband for our honeymoon. We stayed there for a month. So that's the most. It was a few years ago, but I loved the language. I really enjoyed studying it, and I would be really happy to teach it. But I want to teach English to Italians first. Like I said, I've got way to go. Lots of projects. Start with one first.
What part of China did you visit?
I went to Shenyang, right at the top at north. It's about an hour, a couple of hours aeroplane from Beijing, and that's where I stayed 2 months at university. And then when I went back with my husband 10 years later, we traveled around China. So we went to Xi'an to see the warriors. We went to the south to Guilin. Then we went back up to Shanghai. So we traveled around the country. It was very interesting. And nobody speaks English there, at least. Well, they didn't speak English then. Now they might speak more, but it was very difficult to get along to do things without knowing Chinese. It was very useful.
Yeah, so I asked because my wife is born and raised in Beijing. She grew up there for 20 years. And she has taught Chinese locally here at a Chinese school in Nashville. But I will tell you that it's the dialect, the pronunciation is really important, because just like it, maybe you guys don't realize it. I'm sure you do, because every country is probably this way. So like in America, in the United States, if you talk really slow and draw out your vowels, that's typically how people talk in the Deep South. And the more it's like that, the less professional it sounds. I know it shouldn't be this way. I'm not saying that I support that, or I think, it's just the way things are. If someone, and I can pretend, I can use a voice. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, so I can definitely talk with a real deep Southern accent. But people may think I'm just making fun of Southerners, even though that's me. That's where I came from. But it's definitely that way in Chinese, because Beijing as a city, they feel, the people that are in Beijing proper, that they're citizens of Beijing. A lot of people come from the countryside to work there and do menial labor and lower level jobs and things like that. And when they have like national holidays, like the start of the new year, all of the people empty out of Beijing and they go back out to what they call the countryside, and they go back home for those celebrations. And Beijing is just left with its actual Beijing residents. And they have a pretty strong bias against people that have an accent that lets them know that they are not a proper Beijing person, and it's really strong. It it's a subconscious discrimination. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying this is the way things work. So if you're going to teach Chinese, like my wife is like super particular. That's the only reason why I know. If you're going to teach Chinese, I recommend finding someone that's connected with Beijing that can give that pronunciation. Because, for example, if I'm an Italian and I'm going to learn Chinese so that I can go do business, I don't want to learn the Szechuan style of pronunciation, which is the deep southern
Yes,
part of
yes.
China.
Well, they've taught me that it's the dialect of Beijing that has become the national language. So that's why it's so important. And that's I can't understand when they speak from the south, but everybody is supposed to be able to speak the Beijing dialect, which is the official language. And so that's the one that we learned. And they said that I had, the Chinese teachers told me that I had a pretty good pronunciation. So that's
Very
good.
All right. So, I'm here to help you guys, gals. What else could we talk about, or do you guys have other questions? Even things like starting a group, how to tie in live streams to your product, as using it as part of your sales mechanism, content ideas. What can I do that would help you guys? Oh, and if you hear the harp in the background, that I'm not playing music. For those that don't know, my daughter has a harp. She's in the room on the other side of the wall behind, that I'm looking at. So she's in there practicing. I used to tell her I'm live streaming, please don't play the harp. But I've found that a lot of people don't mind it. It actually sounds really good. And they think that I'm listening to opera music all day or something. But so anyway, let me know if it gets overwhelming, because I can just like reduce my microphone or something like that. I don't want it to be a disruption. But
no, everything is okay.
All right. So other questions? What else can I do to help you guys?
Actually, I see a lot of stuff what to do during the next week or else. And if I have questions, then I will write you.
Yes, me also. I'm going to try and see a little bit more, go into this StreamYard and try to be more familiar with all of this. Also, I didn't know that that the group Workplace existed on Facebook. I wasn't aware that of its existence. So I will start looking around, and surely we'll have more questions for next time.
Yeah, so one thing I really like about Workplace is it's hard to describe to people, because they'll get confused until they show up and then they see it. But basically, it's your own private Facebook. It's not just a Facebook group. It's like all of Facebook, but it's just yours. So you can have multiple groups in it. You can allow people, send them direct invites. You can also kick people out if you need to eliminate them. But the other thing one thing that I really like about it that's really makes it really nice and worth it is, if you have a Facebook group, which I'd still recommend start there, because there are a lot of people on Facebook. But some people, when you tell them come join my Facebook group, they will say, I don't want to get on Facebook. I don't like being on Facebook. Plus, when you're on Facebook, even if I'm going to your group, other messages will be popping up all the time, for me to go look at or distract me or whatever, and then I get led away from your group. Whereas with Workplace, the only activity that they will be interrupted by is stuff that's in your workplace that you're allowing to go on. So that there are some advantages there. You can also do the live streams there, just like you do with Facebook. This should be live streaming, by the way. I'd added it using one of those RTMP key things. So I'll go check and see if that actually worked out or not, because I've never tried that before. But that's one of the main reason I like it is because people who don't want to get on Facebook, they'll still be willing to join a group. And then since it is just like Facebook, it has all of those powerful features for building good groups, facilitating communication, all that kind of good stuff. So I really, really like it. Also,
so you don't need an account on Facebook to have Workplace?
No. Now, you may run into a problem. I've seen this before. I don't know if they fixed it, but the email address that you used, that you gave me, that you've used to join that workplace, I think you can't use it on another workplace. So you have to have another group, or you can create just a username and not use an email address. I think they were trying to get that fixed. And I think it may be fixed now that when you go create your own work group, when you log in next time, it'll ask you which one of the 2 groups or 3 groups or whatever you want to go to. So they may have that fixed, but I know that was a problem before. I really like it. Another thing you can do is you can tie it to your membership. So you can still have a public Facebook group that your lives are going on and you're giving content, so that you're building a community where everyone else is on Facebook. But you can give people private access to your workplace, and you can create groups within the workplace that are for members only. So you can still have the general public come to your workplace and still create a single group or multiple groups that's like for Italians learning English, and they paid for your course. And then when you do lives there, you can do it where only the people in that paid group get to see it. So they can send in questions and you can interact with them there. And if this streaming that I've done works out, you could even use StreamYard to bring paid members on as guests and work with them on their diction and pronunciation, and only stream it directly to that private group within a workplace. So I know it's got a couple layers there. I think it could be sound a little complicated, but I think you guys got the idea.
I have one more question. How many people are going to will there be in this group in Workplace that you've created? Is it going to be the 5 people that you're going to need, or is it going to be a much wider group?
So I think my strategy is anyone who wants help live streaming or related to live streaming. So that could also be people that do video editing as a service. It could be people that do graphics as a service or website design as a service. They can come in and join the group, as well as people that have any number of different types of products and they want to live stream, or they are live streaming to sell their product or service. So they can join the group, and they could be in the welcome area. I may end up making another group for like ask for services or something like that, so that it would be free for people to announce, hey, I'm a graphic artist. Here's some examples. I would love to do graphics for your show or your website. Or you could go in there and say, hey, I need graphics made for this product. Who can help me? And then, have people ask. So in that sense, I want it to be very open and allow a large number of people to be able to join. But the 5 people that I work with just on this initial launch, I'll just make a private group within that, where we will be able to interact without all the rest of the distraction. That's my initial strategy. Now, if only 5 people join the entire workplace, it kind of won't matter. We can just, work through the things in the welcome group as it is right now. So what are your thoughts?
Sounds great.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not at the moment.
Not for now. Not for now.
All right.
No, thank you.
Oh yeah, and I haven't seen any comments come in. It's probably because I announced it very last minute, and I don't even know if we've got visitors that have watched it. They will watch it over the next week, but I don't see any comments. So if there aren't any other questions, it's been a pleasure to have you guys, gals on here. I look forward to working with each of you. It's been a lot of fun so far. I'm sure we're going to keep having fun.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
And I'll practice my one Italian word that I know. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao. I'll teach you more. I'll teach you more.
I look forward to it. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.